Today we'll be covering power management. In the current state of Star Citizen, it doesn't really matter too much when it comes to PvE environments where you're facing AI, due to the fact that they tend to miss a lot. That being said, as AI progresses and better systems come in place such as server meshing and we get less desync, this will become much more beneficial for you to learn in PvE environments as well as PvP environments. At the moment, in PvP, this is the breaking point between winning fights and losing fights. Currently, there are two ways to take control of your power management. One is through the MFDs on your ships, and two is through key bindings. We'll first go into the MFDs. You're going to navigate to menu, and then you're going to go to power systems. Once inside power systems, you'll see the power triangle. As mentioned before, there's two ways to navigate with this system. One is by clicking and dragging the icon around to the desired power, or the other is with key binding inputs. While I've often seen players have mixed power settings, it's actually better to have your power dedicated to a specific item at any given time. These systems will be explained further in detail as we get into the tutorial, but first let's go over shields. In a perfect world where ships are stationary and they're just shooting each other to see who has more power, having your systems set to weapons makes sense because you're able to apply that damage constantly. That said, you usually want to have shields on, as shields provides more cover whenever you get hit. There are moments where having shield does nothing for you, and it is better to have weapons on. And we'll touch on that later as we delve further into this, but for now, let's keep it to basic principles. We did some testing to test the effectiveness of shields. Now keep in mind that these values are going to change depending on the ships and weapon types, but the amount of protection should be about the same. When I'm shot here with my power to anything but shields, you can see my health go down to 85. Conversely, when I'm shot with power to shields, you can see my health a little bit higher, sitting at 89. The difference between power to shield and not having power to shield was 2 shots. With shields, we were able to take 9, and without, we were able to take 7. Another important factor about the shield component is the delay to the protection amount, meaning that the time between you switching to shields and being shot at has a delay between how long it takes for the shield to actually harden and protect you from damage. With some testing, we found the delay to be about 4 seconds. Thrusters are a bit simpler. While boost allows your ship to go faster, it is not an infinite source. Setting your power to thrusters increases the amount of time you can use your boost for. While it doesn't give your boost any more power, it does allow your boost to also regenerate faster. Finally, we have weapons. Setting your power to weapons only does 2 things. 1, it increases the recharge rate, and 2, it increases the total amount of shots that you have. With all the systems out of the way, let's go ahead and see how it applies to combat. In this first approach, we take a very standard PvP approach, where we maximize shield efficiency as we approach the target on the merge. As soon as my enemy is no longer able to get shots off on me, I prioritize the weapons to quickly reload and swap back to shields before he's able to lay fire back on my ship. You'll see the pattern repeated where I swap to weapons when I feel that I am safe from fire. As soon as I'm about to be targeted, I go back to shields. Remember that due to the hardening delay, you want to activate your shield before you actually start taking fire. Finally, as we start to get some distance on each other, I figured let's reset the fight. So I start to recharge my thrusters so I have some more room to play with, and I try to get my shields and weapons back to 100. At this point in the fight, we had been fighting for a little bit and I felt like I was ahead in damage, so I decided to change up my strategy. I started to focus on trying to use more energy on my thrusters. I wanted to have a bigger range of boost so I can be more aggressive and stick to the target much easier. This ended up not working too well because the enemy started to push into me pretty aggressively. So I decided to go back to my default of trying to get my shields up as much as I can, while trying to prioritize weapons so that I could get more damage on them since I was now in a constant head-to-head fight. That's when I had a quick moment where I felt that I could create enough space between us to recharge my shields really quickly. This allowed me to almost get a complete charge while being able to turn around and defeat the enemy. It takes time to build the muscle memory necessary to interact with power management. When you first start playing with it, keep it simple. Try to have your weapons when the enemy is not able to shoot at you, and try to go back to shields by default. With time, it will feel more natural and you will be able to swap to whatever you need on the fly. But trust me, this is not going to be easy off the bat. Keep it simple and expand with time. That's it for this video, and I hope this gave you some tools to really understand how power management works. If you have any questions or suggestions, comment down below.